Welcome back here to Mountain Connections. Always excited to be joined by my friends from Nexus IT. We have Earl, Foote, as well as Travis Gunn in here to talk about terminal safety and credit cards, especially with gas stations, and how you can be prepared and definitely know when you're maybe getting into a sketchy situation there. Gentlemen, how's it going? Great to see you guys.
Awesome.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
Always
Morning,
a pleasure
everybody.
to have you guys, for sure. So let's talk about this. I mean, we want to talk about credit card safety and terminals in general, but I think a good starting off point is gas stations, because this is a place where a lot of consumers are, one, have either had fraud happen, or two, are worried that it is happening. I can attest to this myself. Anytime that I go fill up at the pump, I give a little tug on the card reader just to be safe. Let's talk about the skimmers and how this whole practice works.
Totally, and you know, a lot of people don't think about this potentially being, you know, a cybersecurity type of situation, but the reality is that it is, and there are, you know, cyber criminals or criminals who use these credit card skimmers on terminals to steal your credit card information. They can reproduce the credit card, use it, or they can use, you know, the numbers that they extract from the skimmer to make online purchases.
Or they'll sell them.
Yes, they sell them on the dark web.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But there are documented cases, particularly when you use debit on your card and you put your PIN in, they can manufacture a card with the same data in your mag stripe on a blank card, and they can go to an ATM and they can siphon money out of your bank account. That's harder to get back than, you know, bogus transactions that show up on your credit card.
Than a credit card, which a credit card company will help you with the fraud and all of that. But the worst case scenario is they can actually log your PIN and get into checking account information and that sort of thing, which is much, as you said, much more difficult. Let's talk about, Travis, how sophisticated they've become, these skimmers. I think when people think about them, if they haven't experienced them, they think it's maybe some little flimsy thing, but they've become so sophisticated that it blends really well.
Right, they're molding exactly what you see, right? And then they'll send their comrades in to distract the attendant, and they'll actually fasten these things. In some cases, could be viewed as permanently on the gas pumps or ATMs or wherever. There's even credit card terminals in the stores.
Wow.
And so as you're swiping, it's capturing data. Your transaction goes through just like you normally would know. You don't know what's happening.
Absolutely.
Right, a funny story. My wife actually was at a fuel station. She was probably yelling at my kids, and she actually knocked one off. Right. And you know, the thing fell, and we had talked about it. She got in her car and left and went to another fuel station.
Yeah.
She may have gone in and told them, I don't know, right? But what they're grasping is all of information that that your card holds.
Absolutely.
Right. We always recommend, do credit instead of debit, even if you're using your debit card, just to be safe. Use ones that have chip readers. Some of the newer ones, you'll insert your card and it'll keep it in there. It's reading your chip.
And as we as these kind of methods become more sophisticated, is it going to move to the realm where we have to worry about the chip readers as well, or is that something that is a little bit farther into the future?
Certainly, I think it's entirely a possibility, right?
Okay.
I don't know that there are documented cases yet of information being stole off of a chip and replicated, right?
Okay.
For nefarious purposes, right? I could be wrong on that. As far as I know, that there is not. But absolutely, it is a risk that is likely to rear its head.
We could guarantee
that
the bad guys are trying to.
They're working adamantly, I'm sure, to try and, as any new security update comes out, they are working on the back end to try and figure out how to get a backdoor through that or to get through that as well. So let's talk about how consumers can stay safe and what they need to be aware of when they approach situations like this. You guys are experts in this, so what's the kind of scenario that you walk yourself through when you go to a gas pump?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you want to look at it and see if anything looks a little weird, right? And these skimming bezels, these false bezels that oftentimes are snapped on. Now, people should understand that sometimes criminals will actually open the machines and they'll plant stuff on the inside, so you can't really
even see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's not as common because they want to just come up and snap something on really quickly.
It takes a lot of effort to be able to actually get in there and put something in there.
Absolutely. So, but these bezels, if the where you put your credit card in, that slot where you put your credit card in, if it doesn't look quite right, tug on it a little bit. See if there's something there. If it's really tight to put your credit card in, get your credit card out of there and like, you know, go inside and like pay directly. Or
That's your best bet is if you're concerned, go in and pay inside with your chip.
Pay directly with your chip.
Yeah, if you're super concerned, go do it. That's going to be your safest bet.
Always the safest bet. Wireless is also a good option as well. You know, there's a lot of the newer
the tap,
have the tap to pay sort of thing, which is a good scenario there as well. So really, it's just being mindful of these situations, understanding that they do exist, and understanding that there are people out there working adamantly.
Your risks
to steal your
are
data.
fuel pumps, ATMs, and the self-checkout line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right. Just you know, if you're concerned, talk to someone and pay with somebody physically there in a machine that's monitored by somebody.
And I don't know that we directly mentioned it, but do credit over debit, because again, if you put that PIN code in and the machine is compromised, then you've just given up your PIN code to a criminal.
Which is much more information than you would prefer to give, and also with the credit side of things, it's not going to be giving away that personal information there, which is really, really important. We could continue this conversation, as always, I always say. Let's talk about Nexus IT, though, and the services that you guys provide really briefly, and how people can get a hold of you guys and your expertise.
Fantastic. So Nexus IT is an IT support firm that provides IT that works for small and medium businesses, so they can focus on their business and not deal with the IT. And locally, you can get a hold of us at 435-487-9099, and on the web at nexusitc.net.
Excellent. Earl and Travis, thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks.
As always, we really appreciate all of your expertise and your tips as well to keep us safe. Again, be sure and be aware of the situation, especially when you're using your credit card at any terminal, really, and look for anything that looks suspicious. And if it does, trust your gut and just pay with a person there, or use credit as they recommended. Again, you can find out more information about them at nexusitc.net, and I highly recommend that if you're a small business and you need anything IT related, to contact them. They are great at what they do, and they will make your job so much easier. We'll be right back with much more right here on Mountain Connections.